Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant too.
Servanthood has long been a tradition for Mennonites. In the General Conference, service manifests itself in many forms. We serve Christ. We help each other. Conference mission workers, volunteers, pastors, and conference staff seek to serve the many people in the General Conference.
As people in General Conference churches, we originally banded together to do the work that we could do better by pooling our resources instead of going it alone. On our behalf, the Commission on Overseas Mission, the Commission on Home Ministries, the Commission on Education, and Mennonite Biblical Seminary have worked in beautiful and profound ways. Through them, we support mission work in 19 countries. Multicultural churches at home continue to grow. Mennonite Voluntary Service places over 100 volunteers in the United States and Canada. We prepare pastors for congregations. Pooling our resources has worked well.
Consider for a moment that the General Conference is a musical chord. There is a melody.
We are pilgrims on a journey,
joined by the harmonies.
We are travelers on the road,
and broadened even more with other voices.
We are here to help each other walk the mile and bear the load.
Today, however, as we walk together, we are confronted with a troubling situation. Since 1975, a decreasing percentage of the money that General Conference Mennonites give to good causes has gone to the General Conference. That decrease, coupled with past inflation and a reduction in buying power, means the General Conference is faced with some difficult decisions.
Today, we must ask, what is the future of our church? What is most important for us to do at the General Conference level in the coming years?
Are things like our own mission programs, schools, curriculum, publications, voluntary service workers, peace resources, luxuries, or necessities?
Here is the question. Where will we be a decade from now? What will the year 2002 look like for the General Conference Mennonite Church? Let's look at some different scenarios.
In 1982, the Commission on Overseas Mission was supporting 155 mission workers. Today, 10 years later, COM is supporting 91 workers. That's a decrease of 64. At this rate, we would be down to 27 workers in 10 years. In 20 years, we'd be at 0.
But we are a people of mission.
Oh, we would still have mission, but we might not have COM.
By 2002, General Conference Mennonites may have stopped pooling resources for overseas mission. There may be no single General Conference mission program, but each church choosing other outside agencies to support.
But the gospel would still be spread. What's the problem?
Our churches would have less of a voice about missions. The unique perspective we as Anabaptists lend to mission work would be lost. And also regrettable, COM would be unable to move forward with the vision to internationalize mission work. For instance, to help send Africans to Asia or work in partnership with Asians in Latin America.
Internationalize mission work. That's interesting, really cutting-edge type thinking. It makes sense for our global society. But eliminating COM is just a scenario, something that could happen.
That's what this whole discussion is about. Scenarios. What could happen? We know the statistics. We've seen the trends.
We can't predict the future, but we can help shape it. People vote with their dollars. We make choices about where we give our money. If the giving trends continue, our mission program will change or possibly cease. Or it could grow. It's the choice of the people.
How do we hear the voices of the people? How do we talk to each other?
We make decisions at Council of Commissions each year, and every 3 years we gather for General Conference sessions. We write and phone our leaders. We read and write in the Mennonite. We argue with and love each other like a family.
There are many voices in the Mennonite. Sometimes we agree.
I will hold the Christ light for you in the night time of your fear,
And sometimes we disagree, creating harmonies.
I will hold my hand out to you, speak the peace you long to hear.
So what is to become of the Mennonite when we look ahead to 2002?
The worst-case scenario? No longer the Mennonite. No semi-monthly magazine of news, faith stories, editorials, or opinions. No more of those invigorating Sunday school discussions.
Does it have to be so drastic? Couldn't we just cut pages or the number of issues? Couldn't we appeal to more readers by making the Mennonite less controversial?
The Mennonite may be controversial because it gives everyone a voice. To make it less controversial would be to deny someone his or her opinion. Can we do that and be brothers and sisters? Can we say we won't listen to each other?
If we have to cut, why not cut being in touch?
That's a choice we may have to face. Both publications serve the General Conference, but in different ways. In 2002, will we hear only one voice in the form of being in touch, or many voices in the Mennonite?
The question for the year 2002 is, will the General Conference still be able to support 2 publications? Can we afford to keep the Mennonite?
Can we afford not to?
I will weep when you are weeping. When you laugh, I'll laugh with you. I will share your joy and sorrow till we've seen this journey through.
How far do you think we can take this music scenario?
Well, it seems to work. We are talking about using our voices, about listening to each other, about working harmoniously. Being part of the General Conference means we honor and celebrate each other's gifts. When we sing in unison, we are strong with one voice. When we sing in harmony, we are just as strong, but with more breadth. There's room in the General Conference for every voice.
Yes, but sometimes we aren't even singing the same song.
That's where the idea of choices comes in. Sometimes we have to learn to sing new songs. Maybe our programs need to change. Looking ahead like this is an opportunity, really. It is a chance to go a new direction.
The Commission on Education has dreams for the next decade that respond to some of the financial trends. Churches are spending more money at home. They are making choices about local ministry. In the next 10 years, COE wants to provide more resources for congregations to do local ministry.
To do that, though, they will have to reduce or give up their work somewhere else. What would they have to cut to replace this with new emphasis?
Most of COE's work is through staff. In 2002, we may not have staff available for training venture club leaders or Sunday school teachers. Family life seminars may be cut, or maybe COE's networks that support education on the congregational level. COE could be cut back to a bare-bones program.
What if we lost Faith and Life Press? What would it mean for the General Conference not to have a denominational publisher?
We would be forced to use curriculum produced by others. It would mean we could no longer create books on the topics that are important to us, like Weathering the Storm, the book about Mennonite responses to the Gulf War. We may lose something important. Again, it is a choice.
Are we really talking about cutting back on education and resources? How will young people learn what the Anabaptist faith is all about? Even our hymnals are produced by COE and Faith and Life Press. Our songs have much to do with our theology. How could we do without hymns?
We are a people of song, a people of service, a people of mission, a people with many voices. Our songs show that.
When we sing to God in heaven, we shall find such harmony. Born of all we've known together, of Christ's love and agony.
Love and agony. Those are 2 major ingredients in fulfilling the work of the church, especially as times change and budgets shrink. People are giving, but to many causes, not just to the denomination. Other mission agencies also ask for part of that same shrinking dollar.
It's a competitive market, especially for institutions of higher learning. Consider Associated Mennonite Biblical Seminaries. They already feel the effects of declining dollars. Is it possible that by 2002, the seminary might have to shut down or make drastic cuts?
How much of a loss for the General Conference would that be?
Most obvious would be the loss of AMBS trained ministers in our congregations. But consider, too, how far-reaching our seminary is. Many teachers, mission workers, youth leaders, and others in the church go to AMBS. Without the seminary, we would lose a vital mass of well-educated workers grounded in Anabaptism.
Let's review these scenarios. We are assuming that over the next 10 years, conference budgets will continue to decrease as congregations give more to local programs and less to the General Conference.
The Commission on Overseas Mission would have about 25 mission workers. General Conference people would be supporting other agencies. The Mennonite may be cut back in size. Being in Touch may replace the Mennonite or be cut altogether. The Commission on Education may have to stop the presses, so to speak, and cut back on program. The church might lose its trained leadership if the seminary ceased to exist.
The cuts seem painful, but what seems even more painful is the potential of lost dreams. COM couldn't go forward with internationalization of mission. COE couldn't go ahead with creating new, innovative resources for congregations. Just 3 years ago, we had the dream of being a many people's church. With continued budget cuts, it seems we are drifting farther from that goal.
Just because the General Conference lacks funds doesn't mean there isn't a vision. But will the support be there in terms of human and financial resources? That is the choice of the people.
The choice of the people sounds like campaign rhetoric.
True, but as we said before, we do vote with our dollars. The choices aren't easy. There are many needs in our world.
Is it time to sing again?
Not yet. We have to talk about CHM first.
Ah, yes, the Commission on Home Ministries. What will happen to our evangelism and church development program? What will happen to our new churches in the next 10 years? What about the Hispanic, Native American, African American, and Chinese churches? Will we be growing with them or abandoning them?
Abandon them? That sounds too harsh. Do you think 2002 will really look like that?
Well, just look back at the last 2 years. The Hispanic Ministries Program, the Evangelism and Church Development Program, Mennonite Voluntary Service, Peace and Justice, the Many Peoples Program, Mennonite Indian Leaders Council, all of them have been scaled back. If that continues into the next 10 years, what will be left?
What would be left?
For CHM, drastic cuts by the year 2002 might mean losing precious voices. The voices of our Native American, Hispanic, Chinese, and African American brothers and sisters. The churches are growing, but they need support. Can we give it? Is it our responsibility?
That's a good question. One of many questions the General Conference is facing. What can we do? What should we do?
Wait. Before we answer, let's look at some positive scenarios. What if our dreams could come true?
All kinds of opportunities await us. If the Commission on Overseas Mission could support just 25 more workers, we could provide professors at the Mennonite Biblical Seminary in Bogota and the Evangelical University in Bolivia. We could support an evangelist and church planter in southern Brazil and send workers to Mexico City. Doors are opening in Senegal, too.
COM could follow through on its dream to internationalize mission by helping a Taiwanese pastor do church planting in Hong Kong. And the churches in Korea are asking for help.
Don't forget, our whole world could change by the year 2002. Just think of the changes we've experienced since 1989. We have new opportunities in the former Soviet Union. What other new opportunities will open for COM?
It's wonderful to dream about our outreach overseas, but we have dreams for our family here, too.
Are you talking about the church family?
Not only the church family, but every kind of family. In the last few years, staff from the Commission on Education have gone out to many congregations. They dream of going out to more. COE is committed to strengthening not only the church family, but the biological family as well. COE sponsors family life resources, youth and young adult programs, venture clubs for children, and many other things.
COE dreams of every person taking part in the life of the church, of every person finding his or her voice in the congregation.
Strong congregations make for a strong conference. Everything we do is interrelated.
Yes, a gain in mission workers would not only strengthen churches overseas, it would also mean more people coming back to North America to enrich congregations here. It would mean more global connections.
And if more youth felt connected to the church, they might be more likely to attend Mennonite colleges or the seminary. Who will be the leaders of the General Conference in 2002 and beyond? It's all connected. Our investments today affect the life of the church tomorrow.
Let's say we invest wisely then. How would wise investments pay off for the work of the Commission on Home Ministries?
CHM oversees the Evangelism and Church Development Office, although the General Conference strives to make everything relate to evangelism. The dream of CHM is to help area conferences plant new churches and strengthen the established ones.
Now there's the Anabaptist vision. Build churches, radical, evangelistic, peace-loving communities of faith. Churches that break the barriers of society. Places of racial diversity and harmony, full of energy and love for each other and for the world.
Love for the world. Now that's Mennonite voluntary service. MVS dreams of reaching out to the homeless, to victims of AIDS, to people hungry for peace and justice.
Hunger. Hunger is a strong word. Maybe that is what the General Conference needs, more hunger. Hunger to be a distinct people, carrying out the vision of vibrant churches at home and abroad. Hunger to be alive.
The General Conference is alive. Our programs work. But our world is changing, and we need to work together to figure out which direction we will go.
What will the General Conference look like in the year 2002? Will we use our abundant resources to fulfill our dreams of global mission work, of listening to each other in the Mennonite, of creating new resources, of training our leaders, of building a many people's church?
Will we continue to be a people of mission, vision, creativity, theology, and harmony? How will we serve the church and the world in the year 2002?
We know the money exists. It's our choice.
We, the General Conference, face many questions. It is time for us to listen to God's Spirit and to each other as we chart our course for the future.
Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ to you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant.